Ever think about how music can be a time machine?
Hmm.
Like you hear a song and suddenly you're transported back to a specific moment,
Oh, yeah.
feeling all the emotions of that era.
Definitely.
That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
An AI-generated concept album called Marching to Sunrise.
Interesting.
It's set in 1965 Memphis
Wow.
during the Civil Rights Movement.
It's quite the ambitious project.
Yeah.
Using AI to capture not just the sound of Memphis soul,
Right.
but also the complex social and political climate of that time.
It's from a website called TATANKA,
I've heard of them.
which focuses on using AI for creative projects with a social impact.
Cool.
And they've actually provided us with short descriptions of each song on the album,
That's great.
so we can follow the protagonist's journey through this turbulent period.
It's fascinating to consider how AI might interpret and express the nuances of human experience,
Right.
especially in a context as charged as the Civil Rights Movement.
Okay, so let's unpack this thing,
Yeah.
starting with Act, which is titled Hope and Innocence.
Makes sense.
The first track, Down by the Riverside, really sets the scene.
Oh, how so?
Think gatherings along the Mississippi,
Okay.
folks sharing stories and music,
Yeah.
young people dreaming of a better future.
That sense of community by the river is interesting.
Yeah.
The Mississippi often symbolizes both division and connection
I see.
in American history.
Right.
In this case, it seems to represent a shared space for hope and resilience.
And musically, how would you describe the sound of this opening track?
Sure.
I'm curious to know if the AI captured that classic Memphis soul vibe.
From the description, it seems like they've nailed it.
Really?
They mention warm horns,
Nice.
a driving beat, and that unmistakable, soulful vocal delivery that Memphis is known for.
Okay, so we've got the backdrop, the vibe.
Uh-huh.
Now let's meet our protagonist.
Sounds good.
The second song, My Baby's Love Keeps Me Strong, dives into the power of personal relationships
Okay.
amidst hardship.
That theme of love as a source of strength is so crucial in this context.
I agree.
Think about the resilience of Black families and communities during this era,
Yeah.
how they relied on love and support networks to navigate systemic oppression.
It's like love becomes this anchor in a world that's constantly trying to pull you under.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it speaks to a universal human need for connection,
Right.
especially in times of uncertainty and struggle.
But then reality sets in with a job for a good man. Our protagonist is out there hustling,
Yeah.
searching for work,
Uh-huh.
facing the economic realities of being Black in the segregated South.
I see.
The description mentions factories, cotton mills,
Right.
places where opportunities were often limited and discrimination was rampant.
This song seems to highlight the systemic barriers that existed
Yeah,
even beyond the more visible forms of segregation.
for sure.
It's a reminder that economic inequality was and continues to be a major obstacle to true equality.
It adds a layer of complexity to the narrative, right?
And so,
We're not just talking about abstract ideals of freedom and justice.
yep.
This is about people's everyday lives,
Right.
their struggles to make ends meet,
Yeah.
to build a future for themselves and their families.
Absolutely.
And that struggle is further emphasized in Whispers of Change,
Oh.
the final song of 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧.
Gotcha.
It seems to capture a sense of growing unrest,
Yeah.
a feeling that something big is about to happen.
Like the ground is shifting beneath our feet,
Right.
but we're not quite sure what's coming.
Do you think these whispers could be alluding to the growing momentum of the civil rights movement?
It's certainly possible. This
Yeah.
is 1965,
Right.
a pivotal year.
Yeah.
The echoes of the Montgomery bus boycott are still reverberating,
Uh-huh.
and Selma to Montgomery marches are about to unfold.
Wow.
There's a sense of urgency and possibility in the air.
For sure. So we've got this backdrop of Memphis on the verge of change,
Yeah.
and our protagonist caught in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads us into Act 2, the struggle in the fire,
Okay.
where things get really intense.
This is where we see the protagonist move from observing these whispers of change
Yeah.
to actively participating in the movement.
And as you might expect,
Yeah,
it comes with significant personal risks.
definitely.
The first track, Ain't Gonna Back Down, is a powerful anthem about taking a stand against injustice.
It makes me think of those iconic images from the Selma to Montgomery marches.
Oh, yeah.
Ordinary people, black and white,
Uh-huh.
marching arm in arm, demanding equality.
It's interesting that the AI chose to focus on this specific event.
Right?
The Selma marches were a turning point in the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
a moment when the nation's attention was forcefully drawn to the brutality of segregation and the courage of those fighting for change.
It must have been incredible and terrifying to be part of something like that.
And then the album takes us to Beale Street,
Okay.
the heart of Memphis music,
Yeah.
with Tears on Beale Street.
I see.
But instead of celebration, there's a sense of tragedy.
This song seems to reflect the harsh reality that the fight for freedom wasn't without its sacrifices.
Right.
Beale Street, a place usually associated with joy and music, becomes a stage for mourning and reflection.
It's a powerful reminder that progress often comes at a cost.
Definite.
And the emotional weight of that struggle is palpable in the next song,
Okay.
Chain Gang Blues. Our protagonist ends up in jail,
Oh, wow.
experiencing the brutal realities of the penal system.
This song goes beyond just the individual's experience. It
Okay.
connects to the historical legacy of chain gangs in the South,
Right?
which were often used as a form of racialized forced labor,
Wow.
exploiting black bodies for profit long after slavery was officially abolished.
It's heartbreaking to think about.
Yeah.
And it adds a whole other layer of meaning to the idea of the struggle and the fire. It's not just metaphorical.
Nope.
It's a lived experience for so many people.
Exactly.
And it challenges us to consider how systemic injustices persist in different forms.
For sure.
But even in the darkest moments, there's a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
The last song of Act 2, Send My Love to Memphis,
Yeah.
is a letter from jail addressed to the protagonist's loved one.
Interesting.
I read that it has this incredibly raw and vulnerable tone,
Oh, wow.
filled with both despair and an enduring love for the city and the people they left behind.
This song speaks to the power of human connection to transcend physical boundaries.
Yeah.
Even in isolation, the protagonist finds strength and solace in the thought of their loved ones
Right.
and the hope of eventually returning to Memphis.
Okay, so we've gone from youthful dreams to facing some pretty harsh realities. I'm really curious to see where the AI takes us in the final act.
You too?
But before we get there, I have to ask about the technical side of this project.
Okay.
What were some of the challenges in using AI to create an album like this?
Well, one challenge is capturing authenticity.
Right.
How do you make sure the music truly reflects the sound of Memphis soul in 1965? Rather than just a generic imitation, the creators likely had to train the AI on a massive data set of music from that era,
Wow.
carefully selecting pieces that represent the nuances of the genre.
It's amazing to think about all the data processing that goes into something like this. And beyond just the music, how did they ensure the lyrics and the overall narrative felt true to the historical context?
That's where the human element comes in.
Okay.
While the AI can generate the raw materials,
Right.
the melodies, the harmonies, even some lyrical ideas, it takes human creativity and understanding to shape those elements into a cohesive and meaningful story.
Yeah.
The creators likely worked closely with historians and cultural experts
I see.
to ensure the album accurately reflected the complexities of the time period.
It's really a fascinating collaboration between human and artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
And it makes you wonder if this kind of project could actually push the boundaries of what we consider art.
It certainly raises interesting questions about creativity and authorship.
Right.
Is the AI a tool, or is it becoming a creator in its own right? I think it's a conversation that's only going to get more complex as AI technology continues to evolve.
It makes you think differently about what AI is capable of, that's for sure.
Definitely.
It's not just about robots and algorithms.
Nope.
It's about expression, emotion, telling stories that resonate with the human experience.
Okay, so we've explored the album Marching to Sunrise.
Yeah.
And it's clear that AI can create music that is both technically impressive
Right.
and emotionally resonant.
Definitely.
But I keep coming back to this question.
What's that?
Could AI actually help us understand history in new ways?
It's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
And one that historians and technologists are grappling with right now. Imagine AI sifting through mountains of data.
Okay.
Historical records, personal letters, speeches, photographs,
Yeah.
things we might never have time to process ourselves.
Whoa, like a digital historian on hyperdrive?
Exactly.
It could uncover hidden connections.
Yeah. Patterns we might have missed.
Right.
Maybe even challenge our existing understanding of certain events.
Precisely.
Wow.
And it's not just about finding new facts.
Okay.
It's about presenting information in new ways.
I see.
Think interactive timelines, virtual reality experiences that immerse you in a historical setting.
Cool.
Even AI-generated music that evokes the emotions of a specific era.
Yeah.
Much like the album we've been discussing.
That's incredible. It's
Yeah.
like bringing the past to life in a way that textbooks could never do.
For sure.
It would make history so much more real, more relatable,
Mm-hmm.
especially for younger generations who might find traditional history lessons a bit dry.
I think that's one of the most exciting possibilities.
Yeah.
Imagine a student learning about the civil rights movement not just through dates and names, but by experiencing the music, the stories, the emotions of that time
Right.
through AI-powered tools.
It could create a whole new level of engagement and empathy. And maybe, just maybe, it could even inspire us to learn from the past and create a better future.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
I think so.
To use knowledge in all its forms to build a more just and equitable world.
Yeah.
And I believe AI has a role to play in that journey.
Okay.
Not as a replacement for human understanding,
Right.
but as a powerful tool for expanding our perspectives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Marching to Sunrise,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you'd want our listener to take away from this conversation?
I'd encourage them to think about the intersection of technology and humanity.
Okay.
We often view AI as something separate from ourselves.
Right.
But what if we embraced it as a tool for collaboration,
Yeah.
for understanding, for amplifying our own creativity and empathy?
That's a powerful thought.
What possibilities might that unlock?
It's not about AI replacing us,
Right.
but about us working together to create something truly amazing.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll have AI historians working alongside human ones, uncovering new perspectives on our shared past, and helping us chart a more informed course for the future.
I hope so.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and keep exploring.